Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast, where I, your host, Xavier Cruz, a lifelong wrestling fan, will take a lifelong friend through the action, the joys, and the drama of the world of professional wrestling. My co-host, Kelsey Silva, has been bitten by the wrestling bug, and I want to invite you to join us as I take her through the moments that made me a fan. So if you're new to wrestling and would like to get brought up to speed, or a fan who would like to relive some classic matches, promos, and segments through fresh eyes, join us as we embark on a journey through the Attitude Era and beyond. Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the February 24th, 1997 edition of Monday Night Raw, and the match card is as follows. We had the new Blackjacks taking on the Godwins. In this episode, we had ECW contingents. So in our second match, we had Little Guido taking on Big Stevie Cool Steven Richards. We had Sunny taking on Marlena in an arm wrestling contest. We had Goldust taking on Savio Vega. Mikey Whipwreck taking on Taz. The Headbangers taking on the returning Legion of Doom. Devon Dudley taking on Tommy Dreamer, and in our main event, we had Farooq taking on the Undertaker. This one was, once again, in New York City. Once again, the crowd was wild, and then we added an extra element of chaos, which was, this was the episode that ECW answered the challenge thrown out there by Jerry the King Lawler, who cannot stop putting his foot in his mouth.
Fully.
Yeah, this one was wild.
Literally one of the most insane episodes we've ever watched. And I know I say that often, but this was feral on a whole other level that I couldn't even fathom, comprehend, or process.
And this is
in
just
the
like
best way.
like a little taste of what ECW is and all of the kind of chaos that it comes with. So I'm glad you got to like experience like a little nibble. But
I love an hors d'oeuvre of just what that could be. I mean, a little
positively
sample.
amazing. So
yeah, the crowd was also insane.
Top tier.
They
That crowd
had the
was.
time of their life.
Yeah, they had the
Of their
best
life.
chance. They were participating in every which level. It was great. It was.
God bless.
Mhm.
God bless.
So the show opens up with the introduction of the new Blackjacks, which is kind of a new iteration of a old team, which
Love to
saw
see it.
kind of a rebrand for our boy Justin Hawk Bradshaw, who is just going by Blackjack Bradshaw now, which I love.
Love.
Little alliteration. Why not?
Love Blackjack Bradshaw. I am so happy for this rebrand. We've talked about this so many times.
Right.
And I did not even recognize him because he was the Hawk and he had like long, dirty blonde hair, like just
right. Clean a face.
And he came out. I couldn't even tell which one he was versus his tag team partner because he has short cut black hair and like a black handlebar mustache. Well, maybe not a handlebar, but like a pretty sizable
pretty sizable mustache. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know which one is which, but I'm so into this.
They were literally like, go home, grow a mustache, come back.
We'll see you in a couple of months.
4 weeks.
Literally though, because it was so like they looked so similar. I was like, are those fake mustaches? Like I kind of thought they were like the fake ones. I know they're not, but like that would have been hysterical.
Like, what kind of glue would they had to have been using for that to stick through an entire like match?
Yikes.
That's amazing. I just had flashbacks to senior year of high school where I had to like glue all that fur to my face. And like getting that off was brutal. Was absolutely brutal. You need like Goo Gone and like
Goo Gone.
All kinds of
time-honored chemical Goo Gone.
Yeah, that you just rubbed on your face, apparently.
Which you probably definitely
should not have been.
Definitely should not do that.
What, high school plays, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, our safety was not a priority. But love the rebrand, love the look, love the boots, girl.
Oh yeah.
Boots.
But we are very much proponents of the branding. Like I don't really like at the end of the day, like I don't really care what the thing is or the theme is, but if you commit to the costume and the brand,
Mm,
or you have the right attitude for whatever it is you're trying to do, like we're on
mm.
board. Like
I'm on.
we
I'm
are easy
here.
wrestling fans. Like we are easy to
Period.
please. But
I'm on board for the ride. Take me there. I'm just saying if you're gonna do a theme, like just go all out. You might as well just
commit
go
to the
all out.
theme.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
go
saying. Nobody wants
nuts.
to go to like a theme party that's like half-assed. Nobody wants that.
Don't do that.
No, no,
Don't do that.
no.
Full
Create a
full
world for
Monty.
me.
That's what, yeah, I need lore. I need backstory. I need context, like
Yeah.
fully.
So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
episode was emanating from the Hammerstein Ballroom. So it is
Incredible.
a teeny tiny venue, and you can hear everybody. And honestly, that was the
Everyone.
best part of this entire episode was just like the
Without a
crowd
doubt.
participation.
Mm-hmm.
We have a kind of special guest in the audience today is Ken Shamrock of UFC. He will eventually make his way to the WWF. This I'm sure is his like introduction.
It's his
Uh,
soft launch. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So more to come on that. He comes up again in the episode. It's just kind of making note that he's there.
Mm-hmm.
So the match itself was very hard hitting, I guess is the only way I could describe it based on the parties involved, because it's the Godwins and then the new Blackjacks, which is Barry Windham's also just a big thick dude,
Mm.
and Bradshaw. Between like the two of them, like not Grace flying around, not it.
Mm-mm.
But the new tag team came out looking very impressive.
Very
Very
impressive.
they were
Very
really
impressive.
bodying the Godwins, which is not an easy task. So
No. I love to see the new tag teams coming into play. I think this is such a good idea. I'm so here for it, especially because like, and it does feel sometimes like Western is low hanging fruit because
right.
like we've seen it, but like the way this is done, and again, it's like it's a revival of an old group, understandable,
Mhm.
but like so it's familiar, but it's well done, and they were really for a newer tag team, I felt like they were pretty in sync.
Right.
They had good move, like it just felt
Chemistry. Yeah,
good.
like
Yes, chemistry. Thank you.
their like finisher was this like a stunner clothesline like combination. So one of them performs like a stunner on their opponent, while Bradshaw, who is known for his like clothesline or his lariat, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
um he just comes by and just knocks the dude's head off, like just clear into the front row because he hits
Bye.
him so hard. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you can always hear the slap of his like whole arm just like making
Yeah.
contact every time. You really feel like there's like a moment where his body just goes like his soul just like exits for a sec, and then he has to like come back and be like,
Slurp back.
where
Yeah.
am I? What
Mm-hmm.
happened?
Yep.
So after they do their like finishing move, they're doing the pinning predicament in the corner when Henry gets his foot on the rope, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't really caught by the referee based on like where he was like positioned, and before he could even like notice it, one of the Blackjacks had already knocked his foot off, so it was like a whole ordeal. But then we get like a second referee who comes in and is like, I saw that wasn't what
Yeah,
happened.
I
And like so then the two referees start like squabbling in the like the middle of the ring, which I just amusing, really.
yeah, comical.
um
I thought the refs were gonna fight. I was like, sure, let the refs fight.
no,
Let's do it.
it's the energy in the air. It must be New York.
Yeah,
um
cackling.
So obviously the Godwins were not pleased with their loss.
Yeah,
So they decided to take it out on the poor referee, and he got his helping of slop.
girl.
So
It's been a minute since we saw somebody get slopped. I know
a
more
crowd
about the
favorite,
slop than I care to now at this point, just from
right?
things we know now. But sometimes it's good to see the slop. I missed it. It's on brand
The
for
people love
them.
the slop. It's like
People love the slop. It's a crowd pleaser.
right, it's like the rodeo clown. Like, you know what I mean? It like
Yeah,
breaks up the
the tension
right. This is a moment of
fully.
levity, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
in our next match we have little Guido taking
girl.
on what is it? Big Stevie Cool, Steven Richards. I had to look at it because
So
uh
funny.
it Steven Richards is of the Blue World Order in ECW, and essentially they are just like a parody group of
which
the New
is
World Order. So
hysterical. I
Big Stevie
love that.
Cool is a play on like Kevin Nash's like Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash. Um and then we have like the Blue Meanie, who is essentially like the like Razor Ramon, acting as Razor Ramon. He
That
does
is
all of his like
so
mannerisms and everything.
yes.
So good. It's just like an absurd group, and they're just hilarious, and they do what they do very well.
I
Uh, so
yeah.
good.
I think the idea of it is so it's ironic because it's original, even though it's a parrot. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're literally imitating other people, but that is
Hmm.
so funny, and I've never seen that before. Where they're like, "Yeah, we're literally just gonna
And the thing is, like,
imitate everybody
is
else."
the best is like they're imitating like what is actively happening now. Like it's not like the NWO in the WCW starts in 1996 and is an ongoing like storyline that goes on for like years. So it's like this is we're only in 1997. I just love that they're like actively just being ridiculous on people who are essentially like they're contemporaries. It's not like they're like waiting for them to like be old and
Retire.
then
Yeah,
like
yeah,
poking
yeah.
fun at them. I was like, no, they're just like going at them now because they just see how like absurd it is. Just they
Which
get their little piece of the pie. I love it.
yeah, which I would find hysterical. Like if they imitated me as like that, I would love that
Oh, I would
personally.
absolutely live for that.
Eat that up.
They're just so silly. Little Guido is of his own faction of the full-blooded Italians, the
The
FBI.
FBI, girl.
Yeah.
The way everyone we went to high school with needs that shirt and I also know a few of them who actually owned it. The FBI.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
what was the other one? It was like something bikini inspector was the
Oh,
other one that they used to have.
I get that. What is that?
That was also
Federal?
FBI. But I don't know. But it's just heinous.
Barrel? It's
That
probably more accurate.
just flops. I don't know.
So this match is the first time we're seeing either of them. They're both tend to be on the like the cruiserweight or light heavyweight side of things, so they're more agile, they're more technically sound. There was a lot of running around. There was a lot going on in these matches, as is typical of ECW. At one
Like,
point, we get the ECW World Heavyweight Champion Raven, who comes out and doesn't like he kind of like makes his presence felt, but he doesn't really do a ton. I'm
mm-mm.
sure that has more to do with an ongoing thing in ECW, like him just being present, but I'm sure they just wanted to have their champion out there for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Just to show
um
them.
but we also get like a very like intermittent interview with Goldust. And he like asks his opinion about ECW, and he's like, I'm the premier, everyone else is B list
B-list, yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. And Paul Heyman,
Because Paul Heyman's on commentary,
at this point, yes. Uh,
which love,
oh yes, this is your first introduction to Paul Heyman.
love Paul
What
Heyman.
were your
Because Paul
thoughts? Tell me,
Paul
tell me,
Heyman
tell me
came out.
everything.
Okay, Paul Heyman came out to introduce Little Guido, which I just want to say this too. The ECW wrestlers are amazing and they all have the silliest names. Like every single one, I was like, what? But
Right?
they're amazing. Like they're all so amazing, but all of them have like the silliest names. Like
I know, I live
it's
for it.
amazing. But there's something about Paul that I am obsessed with him. His energy is so infectious. Like he just feels like he's having the time of his life at every moment, even though he's being like, oh yeah, like screw you, like screw the
Right.
WWE. Like you're just like, oh, like I just like
So good.
you can't help but love him. I don't know what it is. Like I said, his energy is just so infectious. And he was wearing like a black trench coat. He had
Oh,
the long hair with the ponytail and the hat, and he put it like
mm-hmm.
backwards with the headphones on for the commentary. He was just like he feels like one of the
One of the
wrestlers, like one of
guys.
the guys, one of like
Mm-hmm.
he just feels like relatable, like he would ride for you. Like I could call Paul in a fight. Like
And,
Paul's gonna pull up to my house when I'm like, we gotta go check like if my man is cheating. He's picking me up in the car at 2 a.m. and we're going with like a bat. Like he
mhm.
just gives that
He gets
energy.
and as you like learned, he's so quick-witted, so smart, knows the wrestling business. Like he he's one of the best talkers, period, in
I have
wrestling.
never heard anyone say the things that he said so quick, so snappy, where literally we were screaming at some points. Like the thing we'd be like, Paul, stop.
So
Oh my God.
funny. I was
Love,
living for it. And like
love.
I will say like kudos to Jerry for
Yes,
his role in this whole thing
absolutely.
also, because like you don't the interest in ECW as far as a WWF perspective comes in because Jerry hates them so much. Like because they have ruffled his feathers to such a degree, like that now you're like, why is he so pressed? Like why
Yeah,
is Jerry so pressed? And you're like, okay, and that like sets it up for you to be like, okay, like who are these people? And like I will say
yeah.
like kudos to Jerry for his role like in this episode and just kind of in this story like generally.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I think like it's a hard thing to just kind of like introduce a whole cast of characters into like something that's very much already like ongoing and that maybe the crowd isn't necessarily familiar with, but
Mhm.
he allowed them to get over with the crowd more so by being such a good villain, by being such a
Yeah.
good like just such a petty like annoying like why are you so pressed, like everyone just is like okay
Yes.
Jerry okay, but
Yeah.
it made all of the ECW wrestlers look it like just better and like more relatable by comparison.
Right. And I think too it adds like another element too for like the WWE because then you're like, okay, like if you're such a like you ride so hard for the WWE, you're like, okay, like do I have to side with Jerry now? Like now do I have to side with
Right.
Jerry and like fight for our rights? But like so then like it almost makes like you're like, okay, well Jerry's super annoying. Does that make like ECW like 10 times more? Like it makes you like whose
Hmm.
side am I even on? Because like I
Right.
Jerry is irritating, but I don't know these people and they're infiltrating like my wrestling network.
Right.
Like it just adds such a dynamic. You're so right. And I just love it had to be Jerry because also Jerry, I will give him like nobody sells like Jerry in terms of like a conflict, a rivalry, like a
Mm.
shit talking, like whatever. Like Jerry sells it so good in that like way, like
Right.
pouty
Right. Right.
princess
Right.
way.
Yeah. 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 No, he
So
fully
it just
does.
adds so many flavors, like fully.
Spectacular. And like the so Paul is on commentary and
Love.
after Goldust's interview like comes off the screen, he's like, I don't care, honestly. He's like, I don't care, like homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual. If Marlena comes with the package, I'd go home with Goldust too. And
Period.
this is 1997, Paul. I love a progressive king.
Paul.
That's hilarious. That is
Paul.
so funny. That is so funny because the accuracy is 10 out of 10. 100%. Never before seen. I can't. I
Uh,
live for it.
Because he said what a lot of you were thinking, first of all. Second of all,
100%.
I just love it. And it was so quick. He goes, I don't care. If Marlena's coming along, I'm going home with both. And I was like, what, Paul, you
100%.
better
You get
work,
it.
Paul.
You get it, Paul.
Loved. And that this is the first 20 minutes of the show.
Th-
Not even this is the first time Paul said anything on commentary. He's like, I don't care, like homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, let's go home. Like
Right.
I
Oh, it was
love
amazing. I
the
was living
energy.
for Paul.
We
Like,
were both like
no, because it's
screaming.
like because it's just so funny because he encapsulated everything that like people question about Goldust and then just threw it back in their face on
Thank
commentary.
you.
And like I love
Yes.
that. He literally in one sentence he said basically all of this hubbub that you're like concerned about like does not matter. It is a character. He's like, you know
Thank
what I
you.
mean? Like it was just
Yes.
like he was just like, oh, like all this is the grand debate about Goldust. Like, who cares? And like moving
Yeah.
on. Like,
I love it. It's so true. It's literally been a debate for months.
right,
For months, for maybe years, ever since Goldust's appearance. And he's like just wraps it up in one sentence like I'll just we ride together, whatever, let's go. Like
right,
I just
100%. I
that
live
is
for
the
it. I was like,
energy.
okay, Paul. Paul's energy on this show was unmatched.
Immaculate. Mhm.
So, Big Stevie Cool hits us with the Stevie kick, which is just sweet chin music.
Hysterical.
Like to the
Hysterical.
T, goes to the corner, does the little
Mm,
kicks,
mm.
like hits the Stevie kick and gets the victory on Little Guido.
Incredible.
Amazing. That's
So
absolutely
funny.
spectacular.
So funny.
And
Love.
that's kind of our first little taste of ECW on this episode. I love it. I love the ECW invasion of Monday Night Raw. I live for it.
And I think this is so funny that this is our first impression of them, and it could have been like their champion. It could have been like a serious, like crazy, whatever. And they're like, no, let's get the goofiest guys out
No,
here
I want I
and have them
want
go crazy.
I want the Blue Meanie. Like
I
get him
want the
out
blue
here
meanie.
with his drawn on like chin
I
strap. I can't.
I
It's
can't.
literally like
The
fat,
micro crop
fat,
tops,
smelly Sharpie in the tiniest crop top you ever seen.
like the littlest ponytail, just
The Blue Meanie really.
so shortest shorts. Mwah. Like
Yeah,
that was
literally
like that's how I want to kick this off. Let's go.
100%. I
Amazing.
like I couldn't have like picked a better like encapsulation of ECW than like what you were presented with immediately, where it's just kind
Yeah.
of like, yeah, that happens, and then you have to like explain it, and that's literally everything in ECW, where you're just like, yeah, that's a thing, and then you have to backtrack a little bit, and I live for it.
Yeah.
It's so
I
fun.
know. I loved yeah, loved it.
So in our next little outing, the Honky Tonk Man comes out, and I just assumed he's going to be on commentary or like doing something, but he's going to be the officiate for the arm wrestling contest with between Marlena and Sunny, and also just so random,
What
so
is this?
random. Uh,
What is this?
I swear we're just finding shit for Sunny to do.
And the honky tonk man. Like, I don't even know. I before we proceed, I want to say this was the most sexist 12 minutes of television I've seen thus far in like this was like
Yes.
every 5 minutes, every like 15 seconds we were like, oh, like
It just
no,
no, it kept getting worse because it was
worse.
coming from so many angles.
Everybody,
Like
yeah, bing,
it
bing,
was
bing, bing, yeah.
it was the Honky Tonk Man. It was Jerry. It was like some
Sunny
of the things
herself, yeah.
yeah, Sunny herself was acting a fool. Like it was just I was impressed by how many just sexist comments they got in.
In,
Like
yeah. Almost
not
we
even
needed
just
like
like
a
on the
counter.
program because I get it, but just like the
Yeah.
number in such a small amount of time.
Yeah,
Like,
we needed like the little counter in the bottom corner that's like ding
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 like
like
counting them up and like
oh,
ding 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 ding, ding like how many it was at the end.
it was absurd. So Sunny like makes her way down to the entrance. She's wearing just like this big robe. We're
Love,
all just like,
honestly.
and honestly we were here for it. Like
It
listen,
was.
if this is what her purpose is going to be, like at least she fills it well, you know what I mean?
Exactly. This is what we were saying. Like if you're gonna do it, then just go full Monty. And Sunny absolutely goes there and like
Right. She
she
goes, she like gives the little crowd like
nailed
a
this
little
segment.
tease.
She does a
She's like
robe reveal.
robe reveal fully, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And she's wearing this like cute ass little two
Mm.
piece. It's so cute. Little tiny booty shorts and just like a little halter top situation. She looked good. She
I
looked good.
mean, it was the bod was bodying.
Oh, she was absolutely like
Like
I fully
she
the second it happened, I was like, I understand why you were
I
being
get it.
downloaded. I get it. I get it.
I
I get it.
understand, like, because ECW fan, WWE fan did not matter when they said when Sonny's music started playing, the eruption, the manic energy, everyone jumped from their seats in
Uh,
that
they
arena. Like
they were
everyone
waiting for her. They were waiting for
wiling
her.
out. They had her magazines, they had shirts, they had signs. Like she is a phenomenon right now. Like she
Right.
is the moment. But
Right. Literally.
she she was yeah, like the bod incredible. She had thigh little knee-high boots on. She was like
Mhm.
really working it. And it's so funny because it really encapsulated that mean girl energy where she like insults you straight to your face, but she's so gorgeous. You're just like, all right. Like,
Yeah,
because she
you're
was like,
like,
you dirty, no teeth, nasty, gross New Yorkers. I'm
right.
gonna show you what a real woman looks like. Everyone in there from New York is like, what? Like, yeah, girl, take it
Absolutely.
up.
We haven't seen them before. Show us. Like,
Brand new. Like,
Oh,
and I was like, she
amazing.
all just called you dusty, crusty, musty, toothless bastards. And you're all
Right.
like, take it off, girl. Like,
Right. Don't even care. You're like,
mean,
yeah. We
mean
all
girl to
find
a
out that
T.
everybody in that crowd has like a just like a weird kink.
Yeah, they're like,
Like a shame thing.
well, and we don't kink shame in this house. Get
No,
yours. I
not at
mean,
all. But I
whatever.
was not expecting it to be such a communal experience.
Everyone in there, everyone's like, how did she know?
Right, literally.
Like, she knew
I
for me.
communal day Brian.
Um,
Me? You ever see those like those I don't know if you've ever seen that like meme, that like shirt where it's just like don't be mean to me, I'll come.
yeah,
It was just like that energy. Like it was just that.
fully.
She
Because
just
they were like,
verbally berates them and they're like, you're
like,
like, relax.
I feel funny.
No, literally. That whole arena had their first case of the I feel funnies right then and
Love.
there. Like,
What a
uh,
moment for us all.
100%. So
Ooh,
Sunny like is this is this is peak Sunny. She is
peak.
this is like at her best work. She's like
Yes.
she she grabs the mic after Marlena makes her entrance. Marlena's like in this like gold leotard kind of situation. Her ribs are like very obviously taped up. You can see it from like the back. And
Busted.
did that stop her from tooting the world's fattest cigar? No.
No. Bitch, that thing was long.
Long. She said, I
Long.
yelled into, I heard it like, give me feedback. That's how long it was. It was,
Yeah.
I was like, bitch, you are chomping on this
That's a
cigar.
big that's a big one.
That's a
I mean,
Frankfurter, you know what I'm
okay,
saying?
listen.
But Sunny being just like the absolute heel that she is, she's basically just like, I out of the goodness of my heart will give you the option of a forfeit. And
Mm.
you're so annoying, but like good for you. Um and, and
So
Marlena
true.
like grabs the mic. She's like a four oh well, first of all, she's like, oh, I'm glad that you got like a break from working like the corner of 42nd Street or whatever to come like hang out with us today. And
Good.
then she's like, a forfeit would be smart and like, but you'd have to kill me for me to
I'd
ever
rather
actually,
die.
yeah.
I love the energy. I love her so much. And because she's so casual about it, she no pomp and circumstance. She's like, glad you got off of work working the corner tonight on 42nd to come join us. How nice.
Right. I was just like, ah,
Hmm.
interesting. I
Love.
amazing. So then this is where it just starts getting
Bad, real
just
bad.
getting bad for all parties involved. So they kind of like they start playing like mind games with each other. Like they grab the hand, they let go of the hand, they grab the hand, they let go of the hand. Honky Tonk Man is
Mm.
just repeatedly just talking about that they need a nice firm tight grip. And I was like, sir, I can like I can't. I was like, this is like far too much, being that one, you're probably old enough to be the both of their like fathers.
Mm.
Second of all, it's an arm wrestling contest. I need you to relax. I need you to just take it down about like three notches. Because you are just about like dry humping the little table that they're gonna do the arm wrestling contest on.
Yeah,
Like
he was like so close. And then,
when she was
oh,
talking about
yeah, yeah.
a forfeit being like smart, she's like, I really don't feel okay. And then Jerry goes, does not miss a beat, does not miss a beat.
It was
He's like,
so
oh,
quick.
let me feel to make sure. And I was like, "Bleh."
Yeah, let me fill you and see. She was
Right.
like, I don't really feel okay. Let me fill you and see. That's how quick it, and we were like, oh, who
Oh,
said that? Who
mm,
said that?
right. It was just like
Gary.
Jerry.
So it was like, let me feel you and see. And then it was like, get a really good grip, like get a really good grip. Like she's getting more. And then when Sunny would like fake out, like they would go to start, and then like Sunny would like be like, I'm just, and he'd be like, she'd be like, I just need to warm up. And Jerry'd be like, you're warming me up.
Ew.
And I'd be like, like,
It was just like I I understand like why you're doing this whole
of
rigmarole. I understand
course.
the audience you're trying to like appeal to, but like can't you just give us the like scantily clad women and not the gross old man commentary? Like I don't think I need like the perv edition of this. Like if you just
No.
if you're just trying to have like two hot girls go out and do an arm wrestling contest, just have two hot girls like go out and do an arm wrestling contest. Like I really don't need the 45-year-old men panting the entire time. Like
No.
it's just like
Because here's the thing, if there are two scantily clad women arm wrestling, your mind just goes to that place anyway. I don't need the affirmation from you. Like, I
right.
don't need you to say anything. Because also, and again, now we're getting like, we're tangenting and it's like getting deep now, but I'm like, because now you're just affirming I can, like, they're just like vessels. You know what I mean? You're just like, yeah, like, you're making me hot. It's like, okay. Like, now
Okay.
we're just like, that's fine. And again, you don't even need to say anything. We're already there. They're beautiful, scantily clad women arm wrestling. I'm there. I'm
Right.
already
We
there.
all
I
understood the
don't
assignment. I didn't need the extra credit, is
fit
basically what I'm saying.
fully. I already have an A 103 seems excessive. Like,
Right,
it's
100%.
fine.
You know, it's like when someone's like, no, like I like took it upon myself. I was like, no one asked you. No
No,
one asked.
shh,
Oh,
shh, shh, shh.
and that's that on that.
And that's that.
So as we're getting into the actual arm wrestling contest, Sunny throws powder into Marlena's face
Right
and
as
like
she's about to
knocks over
win.
the whole table. And then that elicits a "you effing bitch" chant from the entire
Someone was like,
Hammer,
"Bitch, you ever like,"
like screaming at the top of his lungs, like losing
and
his mind.
not no,
Not
not
no, but
no.
I just
That's how
like
I felt.
it's just like the venue made it so clear. Like
It, yeah. It was like they were literally just like it felt like a high school gymnasium.
like a hockey game. Like we all like
Yes.
it was just like what is happening?
Yeah, which I again obsessed. But yeah, like so Sunny cheats, ew boo.
Right,
And
boring. And then Savio Vega makes his way
for
out to the
what?
ring to just mess with Marlena because he has a match with like Goldust. But it's Savio. Oh, Savio came out with a new outfit.
You
He
guys.
finally is like an official member of the nation because they put him in all black and sent him out on his way. And I was like, about time.
Thank God, it looks so much better. And it's literally what we said. We were like, and again, I did not know this was happening, but like clearly, like they were
They were
planting
on
the
it.
seeds that this
Right.
was happening. But like we had said, like, just you don't even really have to change the fit necessarily, just make it dark. And they
Right.
literally, it's the same exact like
No.
shirt with
Just
the
give me Venom.
SV. And yes, and
Like you don't have
yeah,
to do all
thank
that. Like
you.
just give me Venom.
Just give me Venom,
Like
and they did. Like, so absolutely props. It was a great time to debut it too, because like the stakes feel different in this
right.
kind of match. So like great. Like A plus kudos. Thank you so much. We needed this for
Right,
sure.
absolutely. So Goldust, of course, comes out to stand by his woman, but which is
Mm,
also leads us into the next official match. So the we hit like a commercial break, and then we're like, is the match now? And then we're like, yes, it is. So when we
mm.
come back, the match is like officially in progress. So of course, all of the nation is at ringside, all 18 members of them like plotted out as if they're like playing Risk. Just like they're just everywhere. So guys, do you remember a couple weeks ago when Kelsey and I mentioned that the if you see Kelsey with the Nuda Wrestling mug, it means that we have reconvened in person. Uh
Period. I was
so
like, where's he going with this?
so yes, I saw you take a swig of it. So for those of you who do are just listening and not watching, we have these lovely Nuda Wrestling podcast mugs that were gifted to me from Lee of the Geeks Who Like Sports podcast, and he also had the foresight to gift a set to Kelsey. But we haven't seen each other in person in a hot minute.
A
But
minute.
this weekend we were reunited.
Thank God.
And I got to deliver them. So thanks again. And they're
Lee, thank
beautiful.
you so much. This is literally the best. Like, how cute.
So cute.
Obsessed. Thank you, Lee.
Sorry
Thank you,
for that
geeks who like
tangent, everybody.
sports.
Yo, seriously. So yeah, of course, all of the nation is out chilling with Savio. They're, they're
And
around. We got
Sunny,
Crush and
Miss
Sunny, who's
Sunny
apparently
Girl.
just down to see the downfall of Goldust because
But then, and again, it's like they keep trying to, like, wedge her in places, because then they're like, because Jerry's like, "Well, what is Sonny doing hanging out with the Nation?" And Vince is like, "Well, don't forget, like, Sonny brought Farooq to the WWE." And he was like, "Yeah, but they were, like, Splitsville. Like,
Right.
they are not." And they said it's, like, an amicable split, whatever. But it was it's weird because I didn't hate it. Like, it kind of
No.
makes sense to me,
No,
except
I get
they
it.
already have a manager. Like, where is
Right.
Clarence Mason?
That's what
There are,
I'm
like,
saying.
no managers out tonight, because I was like, the Godwins didn't have Hillbilly Jim, which a tragedy.
Tragedy
The
every
I
time.
know that the Blackjacks have a manager, correct? It's like
They're
the
supposed to, yeah.
former, yeah, like,
Hmm.
there were no managers tonight, so but, like, it's weird because Sonny makes sense
I
being
believe
kind
it,
of
yeah.
aligned with the Nation, but
Well,
also, like,
mostly
they
because
already have a
she's
manager.
I feel like she's like very much like a bandwagoner. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
fully,
Like
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
makes
you're
sense
right.
because she just hops on whatever's hot, like
Yeah.
like it was she was with the Body Donnas, then all of a sudden like Bart and Billy were hot. So she was like, bye.
Bye.
And then and then she like moved on to like Farouk when the like uh when Bart and Billy were like started losing, and then she was like, okay. And then like they got amicably separated, and then we moved on. Like, I don't know what the deal is that like we're just kind of like throwing her everywhere. Some weeks she's like ring announcing, some weeks she's on commentary, some weeks she's just the timekeeper, sometimes she's acting as like a manager. I'm like, I don't like, what are you doing with her? What are we
Yeah.
doing with her?
But I will say, like, this episode, it was good to see her in this places she was. Like, I'm not saying that, like, whatever. I'm just like, the arm wrestling, like, did I necessarily need it? No, but
No,
also
but
great.
I think she
But
did a great
that's
job.
her thing. Yes. And, like, it was good to see her in that kind of aspect. And even when she was ringside again, I was like, I
This makes
mean,
sense. Yeah.
this makes sense. Like, so it's interesting because I'm curious to see if anything comes of this, or this was just a one-off where she's like, "Yeah, I was there and I'm rooting
Right.
against Goldust and Marlena, so I'm just gonna stand over on this side because they're
Mhm.
fighting him right now." Like, I don't know,
Right.
but I didn't hate it. I really didn't.
Right. I'm just like I'm more confused just like the inconsistency with her. Like I just don't know
Yes,
what we're
fully.
doing.
Yeah.
Um so Crush gets himself plenty involved in this match. He like on multiple points is either tripping Goldust or like hitting him on the outside of the ring. The two Stooges are also getting very involved in this match, whether it's like pulling the top rope, like just the Nation being absolute menaces.
Mhm.
So there's one point where Vega goes to do like a splash on Goldust and Goldust gets his knees up and it just looks like his like rib cage was just like puncturing his lungs because of how
Shattered.
hard he hit. Um
Caved in.
but the just insurmountable odds of like 7-1 caught up to Goldust as all of the members of the Nation once again just barrel into the ring causing a disqualification.
Yeah,
Um
I do wanna say too, also Savio Vega slapped Goldust's ass, and I will not be able to unsee it.
oh yeah, I forgot that
He was
happened.
like, Goldust, he had him up on the top rope, and, like, Savio Vega was gonna flip him or whatever, and before he was gonna do it, like, Savio Vega literally, like, and it wasn't like it was like, like, "Yeah, let me get a
Yeah.
piece of that," and, as they do, and Goldust sees that opportunity, the distraction of the booty
Right.
to, reverse the flippy flip
Right, right,
in
right.
technical terms.
The
So,
flippy flip.
the flippy
Absolutely.
flips of the booty distraction, you know.
And then we have Miguel Perez, who was on commentary during this match for the whole time, who is apparently like a Puerto Rican wrestler, who
Sweet
was, I
guy.
guess, called in to give us some perspective on Savio Vega. God bless him. He tried. But he did
What a
get involved
sin.
at like the end of the match and helped Goldust kind of clear the ring of the Nation. So that was nice.
In jeans, no less. He
In
did some
jeans,
crazy
no
moves in
less.
jeans. He was fine. I mean, he had no short of things to say about how Savio Vega disappointed the
The Puerto Rican
Puerto Rican
people.
community. And he takes that personally, and I respect it. I
Yeah.
respect it.
But other than that, there wasn't really too much more to go off of with him. We don't know if that's like going to be an ongoing thing or if, I don't know. I would have loved to have like, give me some like characters of Savio's past. Like, give me like, why are you so
Mm.
disappointed? Like, what happened?
Mm. Yeah,
Um,
what's the backstory here?
right.
Like,
I was
yeah.
like, is it just because he's Rican? Like, we could do better. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know. I highly doubt anything is going to come of his appearance, but
Mm-hmm.
who knows?
We shall
Uh,
see.
so next we kind of get like this weird like flashback thing of Jerry the King Lawler interviewing Tiny Tim, which is not what I had on my bingo card.
No, I was like,
Like,
so I was like, did he? Because I'm assuming, did he die? And they
oh
were
yeah.
like, look at this. Okay, I
Well,
was
no,
like,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know why.
I don't think it was like a fairly recently thing. I think it was like a um I don't know. He's like when like it all started back in 1993. Is that from like the first Raw? I don't know what the point of was showing the Tiny Tim interview before the Ken Shamrock interview.
It was weird,
It
and
was
I'm
just
not.
kind of like a many years of Jerry being an asshole. Like is what I gathered from it. Um
Yeah, and
and
Tiny Tim is an odd duck, as we all know.
right. And
No
especially
offense,
but
no offense to him, but it was
I really couldn't have picked a more odd place for him to be.
yeah, not. Did not see that coming in the slightest. No,
No, not at all. So Jerry goes over to interview Ken Shamrock, and when I say he goes over to interview Ken Shamrock, he goes over to take credit for all of Ken Shamrock's achievements. Um, and he's just basically just like, oh, like I taught you all of those like submission moves, and now you're like the UFC like champion. Like, tell them what it's like to like work out with the king. And I just loved his immediate response was just like, I don't know you.
a man
Like, he was just like, I don't know you.
did not mince words. He was like, "I don't know you. You're a liar. Like,
No,
literally have no idea who you
I
are."
love he gave Jerry the full Mariah Carey treatment. He said, I
Ooh!
never heard of her. I don't like the
Never
first time like what Mariah Carey got asked about Ariana Grande, it was that. It was like I don't know who she is.
I have
I
no
don't
idea
know
who she
her.
is, which is hysterical because now Mariah just remixed one of Ariana's
I
songs. We've
know.
come so far. I love when the girlies squash the beef. Sorry, okay, we're
Right. No,
done.
no, no.
But I was like, I love when they squash the beef and put out a banger. Thank God. But yeah,
So
okay.
funny.
But no, it was
No, I
very. I was like,
agree. But it was
I've
very that
never
energy
heard
where it's just like,
her.
I don't know you.
Period.
That's
Love,
really
and I
weird of you.
love that that happened.
Oh, and then he's just like, you're a liar. I have no idea who you are.
Nope.
And Jerry's just like befuddled. He had just like no idea what to do. He just
Which
like
is it's so comical to me, and I know that that Jerry's character, blah blah blah, we know, but like it's funny that Jerry like really believed like someone was gonna just like ride with that lie. Like, what do
right,
you mean? Like,
right, 100%.
obviously, I'm not gonna be like totally Jerry the King Lawler. You're the
Right.
reason I am successful in the UFC. Like, what do you mean?
And
Like,
you
no.
know, Jerry like turned around and was like, he didn't pass the vibe check. Like, like you know what I mean? Like
Vibes were so off with him. Don't know what happened.
I
Like,
was like, I
super
don't
weird.
understand why I can't just like vehemently lie about everything and everyone just doesn't go along with it.
And like
It's not right.
And like in the future, when someone brings him up, he's like, I don't, like I met him once, and let me just say the vibes were off. Like
Off.
he's a weird. Like
Like
I'm not
from
trying
that
to. He's
point
like I'm
on.
not trying to talk bad about him. Like no, but like his vibes are super weird. But like no, that's good for you. Whatever,
Yeah, I mean, like if you like him, that's fine.
that's fine. But like I met him. Like
Oh,
I
amazing.
can't.
No,
I
but it was
really
very
can't.
that. Like, it was like
Yes.
Jerry was very confused. Did not know, like, could not fathom that this man would tell the truth. So
Like
crazy.
oh, so good.
So in our next match, we have Mikey Whipwreck taking on the human suplex machine, Taz. And this was your first time seeing Taz. Uh,
Yeah.
because you have seen Hook in
Hmm.
because we watched AEW
Love,
before. So I
love
filled her
Hook.
in that Hook is the son of Taz, and you could really see the similarities between the two. Not just in like appearance and like stature, but also like the way that they wrestle is very similar. So
Love,
that
love,
is just
love.
always like a cool thing. I love Taz.
I
Taz is
really
like
do.
an absolute beast. He's so good. Um, and I love that he's still just found a way to just like be in wrestling because he just transitioned from being like a full-time like wrestler at ECW. He was in the WWE as a wrestler for like a brief stint and then transitioned into being like essentially one of the voices of SmackDown for like 10 years. And
Oh,
then
wow.
he went on to like he commentated for TNA for a little bit, Total Nonstop Action, different company, and then now he's in All Elite Wrestling. So like it's just like
Mm.
a man who has just like who loves the business and just
Wait,
has
he commentates on AEW?
yeah, he does now, yeah.
I love that.
Their
Love
team is
AEW.
stacked at AEW as far as their commentary team goes, because they have Jim Ross, they have Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, they
Mm-hmm.
have
I
Tony
love Kevin
Schiavone,
Kelly.
who was one of the main announcers in WCW during this whole time that we're watching. They have Taz and they have Excalibur, who is like just one of the best like play-by-play people out there today.
I love Excalibur. Because AEW is kind of, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but is kind of how I got into wrestling, sort of,
Correct. Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
that's when we would watch on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually feel like I know more about like AEW now, like in the
Right.
modern age of where we're actually
Right,
living.
right,
And
right.
like, yeah.
But it's
But
fun just to see like the kind of players that are there now and kind of seeing them kind of like in their heyday, which is kind of fun.
yeah, because I would have not, for some reason, I did not make that connection that that's Taz.
Oh yeah, that's Taz. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And Taz is just an absolute beast. His suplexes are like things of beauty.
It's ridiculous.
Like the
Ridiculous.
Greeks and the Romans like could never. Like
Net.
that like beauty. That like the the arch on this man's like back, the pop of the hips, the way that he's like literally like 5'6" and is like able to toss men that are like twice his size. I know Mikey Whipwreck is like a smaller-ish competitor. Mikey Whipwreck's designed to take a beating. That's
It
just
was it
kind
was
of who
really
he
funny
is.
because when he
Uh,
came out, I was like, it goes and Mikey Whipwrecking. Xavier goes, "Oh, poor Mikey," and I was like, "Why? Like, what?" I thought something like happened to him, and he goes, "No, he just gets like beat up a lot," and I was like, he, literally, and Xavier's like, I mean, look at his last name, it's Whipwreck, like he's getting whipped and he's getting wrecked, like it's just
yeah,
poor
it's
Mikey, girl,
uh,
Mikey
took a
uh,
beating. He took a beating. He took a beating. He
yeah,
tried. God bless him. He tries every time. He tries so hard. But
sweetie,
but God bless, did he take a beating? So
sweetie.
during this match, we get a little side interview with Farooq, who's asked about his match with like the Undertaker, and basically he was just like, oh, like the Undertaker acts like he like can't feel pain, like you will feel pain with me, and it's like how can one man take down a nation? And I was like, you're in a one-on-one match.
What I'm saying, he's like, oh, like one man versus seven. And I'm like, well, that's the problem, is
Right,
that it's supposed to be just you. Like, that's
right,
literally what my issue is. It's
right,
not
right,
supposed to be 1-on-7. It's
right,
supposed to be 1-on-1.
right,
So, yes, you're correct. It's not, it doesn't make sense and it's not possible. Well,
right.
maybe, but
But alas.
unbelievable.
So that was Farouk's 2 cents. We'll see more of him later on in the evening.
Mm.
But we get an appearance from the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal Sabu, who
Girl,
who you don't know like is and has been entrenched with like this feud with Taz. They hate each other. And like it was one of those things where it was like yes, it was good for like the ring, but they also like had beef. Like they did
in
not
real life.
yeah, they did not get along very well. um
Yep.
so Sabu jumps off of the Raw sign like as his like grand entrance. He climbs on top of that rickety like
The
Raw
R
sign,
of the Raw.
the one that's just like basically cardboard at this point, and throws himself onto like a pile of like security and nation members or whatever's going on out here. And then he like makes his way like down and like is being like held back by all these people as he's like trying to get at Taz. It's just like a mess. But like if you understand their feud and how outstanding and long standing it is, you wouldn't be surprised. Like you would
Mm-mm.
not be shocked.
It's wild. Oh, like I just the raw R, the way it was shaking as he's standing on top of it, and it's almost like he jumped at the last minute, like before it was
No,
gonna just topple over.
that's exactly what happened. That
It
is
was
it.
so
That
scary.
was that the R was going to go one way and his body was going to go another, he had to, it was either jump or fall. Like,
And he ended up
like,
doing a little bit of both,
right.
which is
So,
crazy. But also, can we talk about the whistle?
oh, with Bill
Whistle.
Alfonso. Yes.
It
That,
did eventually fade into the background for me, you're right.
yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
like just
She's like, who
it'll
is this? And I was like, oh, yes, Bill Alfonso. So he is like just one of the big managers in ECW. He managed Taz for a long time. He also managed Rob Van Dam.
okay.
So
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
Van
yeah.
Dam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that guy. So yeah, it's just a he's just a thing he does. He's got horrible teeth. He's
Oh,
really loud and he's never stopping with the whistle. That's his whole shtick.
and
Like,
I was like, I thought it was in like a crowd member, and I was like, somebody take the whistle. I punched that in the face. I can't.
right.
And then you were like, no, that's the manager. Don't worry, you get used to it. It just becomes like a part of the background. And it did.
It
Eventually,
did.
I was
It
like,
fully just
oh,
becomes, yeah, just like
forgot
background
the
noise. Yeah.
whistle. Yeah,
So uh Taz makes his way through Whipwreck and just finishes him off uh with a submission that now Hook uses as his submission also, which I just think is great.
so
Yeah, it's
amazing.
like I think it's called like the Taz mission is what he calls it. Hook calls it like the Red Rum. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. And I love because they're characters, and I don't know that much about Hook and I don't know that much about Taz, but it feels like their characters are distinctly different. But to see those like little like hints of things like that carry
Hmm.
over between them, like it's just like that little nod. I just love that.
Right. And
Love.
I like and it's like a fun little tidbit. The title that Hook carries around is like the FTW championship, which means like F the world. It was like a Taz championship that he just like uh implemented in ECW and would like defend as if it was like an actual title. Like it's never been recognized literally anywhere. Um
That's great.
but he when Taz was first introduced into AEW was part of like managing a group. So he introduced the title into that group. And eventually it ended up in Hook's like possession. So now Hook carries around the title that
I
his father
love
made famous.
that.
Um
I love that.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. I
awesome.
yeah, and like it's cool because Hook just had a his first world heavyweight championship match with
Hmm.
Samoa Joe recently, and it was
Okay.
just like such a like Taz was on like commentary, and it was just such a like you could tell he
Oh,
was just like such a proud papa. You know what I
I love
mean?
that. That's
like,
so
like
cute.
I live for them. I think they're so cute. But
I love anything in that vein. Like the passing the mantle, the like the whole
hmm
thing. I just eat it up. It's so good.
I get
Love.
it. I get it. So that was our kind of second ECW venture. And in our next match, we have the Headbangers taking on the returning Legion of Doom, which
Whoa.
was not expected. Very big deal. The Legion of Doom is like one of the most decorated tag teams ever. I think at the end of the day, we're talking like the Dudley Boys. And then I think it's Legion of Doom, like right after that, as far as like number of tag team titles and like companies. They've been a tag team
Wow.
champion everywhere they've been. Um, and they've wrestled everywhere. They were in the WWF in the 80s. They were in WCW for a stint. They've been in Japan. They've wrestled
Wow.
everywhere.
Whoa,
Um,
that's awesome. Yeah, you were hype. Like when
yo,
that
I
music dropped, Xavier was hype,
Yeah,
which I
which I
loved.
was
I
just not
love when that
expecting.
happens.
I was just not expecting it to be the Legion of Doom. Like,
When you get hype, I'm like, ooh, like when you're like, oh, you're like, oh God, oh my God, who's that? I was like, ah, like then I get really
I
hyped because like I
it
love
was
when that
great because
happens.
we have been talking for like weeks that like the tag team division like needs
A
some juice.
yes,
We
yes.
just needed more teams. And now we have like we had the introduction of the Headbangers. We have now the introduction of the new Blackjacks. We have the returning like Legion of Doom. Like that's all ooh, that's exciting. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we as we said like it was just getting stale. It was just getting there wasn't enough teams to make it interesting. But now the landscape is completely different. So,
Wait. So the Legion of Doom is returning to the WWF?
Correct.
Oh, I totally missed that. I thought they were in
ECW.
ECW now. And so I was
No, no,
like,
no.
okay, work.
No, 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 no. They're
Oh,
returning to the WWF.
this is big tea. That
Yes,
did not
girly.
land for me until just now. Okay, wow, now I'm super hype.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
okay,
dude.
cool. But then when you said returning, I was like, what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. So they've been wrestling. They were huge, huge in like the mid late 80s. And then they, have made their way to like, I think they were just in WCW. But they're made their way back now, which is
Wow. That's
amazing.
oh, now I'm really hype. Okay, that makes so much more sense to me.
And this match was
Yay.
great. It was
I
phenomenal.
literally just wrote that was insane. Bye.
Amazing. It was
That's
phenomenal.
all I wrote.
It worked for everybody. The
Mm-hmm.
Headbangers, who are like a newer tag team, looked really, really, really competitive against a very well established team. The team
Mm-hmm.
coming back looked very strong in the moves that they completed, and they found a way to do a finish that like neither team looked bad or like was the like looked weak in.
Yes.
So it just worked for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It was super hard hitting. The Road Warrior, Hawk, and Animal do not play no games. They hit hard, they hit fast, and their like tag team moves spectacular because they've been
So
doing it
good.
for so long. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the timing is just always perfect with them. Uh we got some very great chants during this one. We got a Nitro sucks chant going on, which is of course
Amazing.
the Monday night show for WCW. We also got a Bischoff sucks chant. For those of you who don't know, Eric Bischoff was the, for lack of a better term, Vince McMahon of WCW. Without actually like owning things. He was just kind of in charge. Um, but the headbangers, yeah, I put the headbangers are holding their own. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
they're taking it outside. They're like, one of them was like using his shirt to like cheat a little bit, but like you do what you got to do when you're with a team that like
Yeah. That's what I was gonna
experienced.
say because like when you were like they were really holding their own, it kind of really showed that like the headbangers because they have this image of just being like yeah bleh, like we're just in the mosh like they not that they're disorganized but they're kind of
They're chaotic.
like
Yeah,
yes, but it gave you that like hint of like, but they want to win.
right,
Like they really do because he was like, all right, I'll just use my shirt. Like my shirt came off and he's like, all right, now I'm gonna use my shirt. Like
right,
that energy of like, no, but I want to be good at this and I want to win. And I liked that because it wasn't overdone, but it gave you that like, oh yeah, like they're not just like a chaotic like mosh pit. Bleh. Like they
right.
have some
No, there is
semblance
a
of
rhyme
like,
and reason. Like,
yes,
and and
fully.
and I think it's in the same vein as like the sometimes the rhyme and reason gets like muddled with the package, like in the same deal as like
Mm,
Goldust, where it's just like, no, he's a pretty smart wrestler if you
mm-hmm.
like just
If
kind of take a sec to look past all of the like the antics. But like it's just like one of those don't judge the book by its cover. Like
yeah,
the
full
cover is
yeah.
wild, the cover is crazy, the cover is grunge, but
Hmm.
the book is also a little bit of that, but it is
There's
like
some nuggets in there.
yeah, like they are a good tag team who wants to win. Like I like it. I like it a lot,
Hmm.
and I love the new energy in the tag team division all of a sudden, because we already have tag team champions that are like basically having like a will they won't they like moment.
Yes.
So they're at this point like the only people that can lose the title is them. So like like
Truer words. Seriously, truer words.
so yeah, so the match ends with a double count out when all four members of both teams are fighting on the outside and the referee counts them out. The Legion of Doom is not pleased,
Hmm.
and they perform their ridiculous finisher on one of Mosh Thrasher.
Yeah.
He was turned
Whichever one
inside out.
lost their shirt. Yeah.
He was turned absolutely inside out.
That was wild. And I love that they have not similar finishes, but that same like complicated, I do this, you do that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Well,
thing. Yeah.
I love like Well, it's because tag teams need like a good finisher. Most of the big tag teams that like are known as being tag teams like have that. Like have a like a big finishing move that everybody like identifies, like gets pumped for. So it's good that not like it's not like it's standard, but like it's impressive that they both have very like sick finishers.
Yeah,
Like
like they're insane.
yeah.
Cause yeah, I'm just it was just insane. I have
Yeah, because
no
like
words.
the LODs is like that electric chair. That's when you have the other one up on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Like clothesline from the top rope. The other one's like the power bomb leg drop combo, which is just insane. I don't even know what they
Mm-hmm.
call it, but um,
It call it ouch.
call it
Hurt.
ouch.
Hurt very bad.
So after that, we get presented with what is
Stop.
the wildest little vignette that I've ever heard. So basically they wanted to give us a little like I guess what like recap on Shawn Michaels. But
They basically were like, we've had so much fan mail pouring in about Shawn Michaels and what his status is and whatever. So we're gonna here's this little video to say like whatever.
and
When I
it,
guys, it's at 53 minutes
yeah,
into
she
this
clocked it.
episode.
Watch it.
You need to go see this because the way Xavier and I
I was in tears.
tears laughing.
Like streaming down
Tears
my
laughing.
face.
Why did they do this to him? I will.
They essentially like eulogized him like to the soundtrack of like your Sarah McLachlan knockoff. Like it
Like
was
an ASPCA
crazy.
commercial. When Xavier, we were laughing so hard, and then he goes, "This is like an ASPCA commercial," and then I really lost it.
Because it was just absurd. Because
Eh,
they just made him look like a sad puppy. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, first, it was a 3 minute. They played the whole song,
the whole
and,
song.
and they're doing like this whole montage of just like him in black and white, him crying with like a single tear like falling down his face. Whenever there was like little explosions in the songs, they would shoot to like a what like his pyro or like something in the and I was just like, what are we watching? They made it
Oh,
look
so
like
funny.
he died tragically instead of just being
Oh my
injured.
God.
And it's not even like he's injured and getting surgery and is going to be out for like 9 months. They literally said 6 weeks, and then they put
They said
together
it's physical therapy, and
it's
it's
a
like
month.
literally he died.
It's a month and a half. People have taken longer vacations, and they have put together just this whole montage of this man
Oh
to
my
the
God.
world's saddest music, and you're just like, I don't understand. Like, it does not.
Oh my
What was
God.
presented does not match the situation. Like,
And
you didn't
also,
read
like,
that at all.
you're telling me you're trying to make us feel better by
Right.
making it look like he was like shot in the street and it was a
Right.
tragedy. Like he like died in a fire saving a litter of puppies. Like that's
Th-
literally what it gave. It was and I'm like,
I,
this was supposed to make me feel better about this situation. And it was too long. Verse, bridge, chorus, the whole the whole structure. And I was like, I'm waiting for the woman to be like, donate, call now to donate.
right. No, I was just like,
Just $1 a month can pay for Shawn Michaels' physical therapy and have him back to fight it. Like it was.
it was
And we're
crazy.
not overselling it. I need
No,
you all to
no,
go. It's
I
like
was
season 5, episode 8, minute 53. Like get in there. I'm
just go
gonna
watch
die.
it, and I'm telling you, you will start crying laughing because
I
I at one point I'm like my stomach hurts and I'm like crying and I'm just like, why would they do this? Like I
and
don't understand why
it
they
just
did
kept getting
this.
worse. It was exclusively slow-mo video of Shawn Michaels doing. Oh wait, there was one just when I thought I'd recovered. Towards the end, it's like, and when you look in my angel eyes or something, and it zooms in on Shawn Michaels like a slow-mo of like his eyes, like
Like fluttering up, and I was
oh my God.
crying.
I had just regained my ability to breathe, and then that
It
happened, and it
just
was literally like
snatched
this.
it
It was
right
like
away. Ugh.
I was I will never I was like, why would they disrespect my boy like that? Like imagine him home watching that right now is like, what
Why?
is
What? Like Literally, he's probably checking the papers to see if he died. Like, for real.
He's like,
wait a
wait, hold
minute.
up.
Like,
he's like, can you see me? He like walks outside. He's like, can you see me? Am I here? Is this Ghost? Because I just watched my remembrance tribute video on at my
100%.
job. Yeah.
No, literally, I as I was watching it, I was like, this is like the in memoriam at the Oscars. I was like, what is this? Except apparently only one guy died that year. Like, I can't. Like,
Shawn Michaels and whoever sang that song, and they were like, let's fuse it. Like, let's.
It was so bad. Oh my god. Honestly,
Oh
like
my
I might just
God.
like take the risk of the copyright laws and
And
just
post it.
like just post it so you see
Please,
it.
you guys, I feel like I'm not overselling it.
No,
Wow, what a journey that was.
it was truly a choice made by the WWF. Like really, really something that they were like, yeah,
And at
roll
the
it.
ECW match, and then again, regained my ability to breathe as it ended, and Xavier goes, they literally played that for everyone in the crowd. That just aired. Like everyone just watched that. And I was like, no, they did not show that at this match. And he was
I
like, they absolutely did.
no, they absolutely
That's
did.
wrong. That crowd who's bringing crowbars and canes and all types of paraphernalia to the
No.
match to fight, and they're like, "Yeah, let's watch In the Arms of an Angel." Like, what do we?
Oh my god, absolutely absurd. I just like what
Mm-mm.
who was like, yeah,
That's the one
that's
that
what
had
I
to go
want.
through multiple channels, multiple. Someone put that together. Okay, it's
Yeah. No.
wow. My God, oof, bad, real bad,
Real bad.
real bad.
Get well soon. So, like, so
Get well soon. Rest in peace.
XOXO, go piss girl.
Rest in power. Go piss girl.
I'm done. Uh, so
Oh my god.
I can't believe we've gotten here again. It's not even playing. It's not even around. We're just talking about it.
Its memory is so strong.
Ingrained.
So strong and so strong in my cerebral cortex.
No,
It's
100%.
crazy.
It's literally it's like that and like Cedric Diggory's death. Like
Oh my god.
it just took top billing for
I'm
most
not doing
traumatic
sporting events again. I'm not doing it.
for most traumatic event of my life.
Jesus. All right,
Anyway,
well,
so
20 minutes later.
yo, I listen. Could be worse.
Yep, so much worse. Listen, all right.
So in our next bout, we had Devon Dudley, one half of the Dudley boys, taking on Tommy Dreamer with his girlfriend Beulah McGillicuddy.
Beulah.
Beulah.
Beulah? Beulah. Literally, I was like, Bueller. Bueller. Beulah.
So they Devon Dudley is part of the Dudley Boys, who is part of like a larger there's many Dudley Boys. Apparently the origin of it is that whoever was the original father of the Dudley Boys would just go to he was a famous wrestler who would go through the territories spreading his seed. So all of these like Dudleys are like half brothers that like none of them look remotely alike, and they all have like ridiculous names. Like there's Bubba, there's Devon, there's Spike, there's Big Dick Dudley. Like it's like, I'm not kidding.
It took me so off guard. You're like, yeah, there's. Oh my god! I guess there's Spike and Bubba. What is this episode? This was the best episode we've ever watched. I swear.
So
Oh my
yeah, so
god!
that's the premise of like the Dudley Boys is that they're all like
And spreading his seed
they're
is
all half
crazy.
brothers. Because
What?
because
It is
Papa
just
Dudley just couldn't keep it in his pants.
wow. That
Yeah.
is
Amazing, isn't it? So so this was
ECW.
So this was kind of the only like true ECW like rules match of the three that the ECW kind of put on. Because you really tell because we got the weapons from the crowd
Crazy.
aspect of
Insane.
ECW, which is and like ask people like from Philly, they will tell you like they would just show up to the show like with stuff to give to the wrestlers, like
Wow.
pans, canes, like they did not care. Like a wild.
Which you definitely can't bring stuff into, like, you can't bring that stuff in now, right? Like,
No,
because
certainly not. Not with
yeah,
all
because
those like
venues
metal
are
detectors
so,
and
I was
whatnot.
gonna say they're so strict. Like, there's no way they're like, yeah, bring the crowbar in.
Yeah, no, the toaster's totally fine. Like,
They
yeah,
barely let you bring your keys any day. Like,
right. Like,
like,
no, if your camera's too fat, you're putting that shit in the car. Like,
if your purse is too fat, like
yeah,
your bag's got to be like 2 by 4 inches.
100%.
Crazy.
So we kind of that's kind of like the just the taste of ECW that we're kind of talking about here.
Which I
We
love.
get everything was used, like the steel steps were used, a cane was used, steel chairs were used. uh Everyone and their mother essentially like came out. But the real story of this match is basically this is like the escalation of Paul Heyman and Jerry on commentary. They just start getting like more and more like miffed at each other as this is going on, because
I
Jerry's
love.
just like he keeps calling it like extremely crappy wrestling. He like points at this sign that these like 8-year-olds are like holding, and I don't even remember like what it said exactly, but it was just like so
It was like
juvenile.
something wimpy chickens or like or
Ex-
it, chicken
Extremely chicken wimps or like
something like that. It was like,
yeah, but it was just like it was just hilarious because Jerry's just like, see, like they get it, and it's like literally like three 8-year-old
and
boys just like over like a sign
they
that
were
they
like,
like,
Dad,
yeah, they're
Dad.
so like stoked to be at their first show or whatever,
Yeah,
and you're just like, yeah, like these guys get it, and you're like, they're children.
that's your team. That's who's backing you up.
Right,
Okay, fair.
in this like quest that you've begun. So my I love it that like Vince between the two of us is like, just chill out, like
Exact quote. He goes, "You guys just need to chill out." We're like,
I don't think
Vince,
so. uh
chill out,
Yeah,
Vince.
and then Jerry calls Paul a jock sniffer because he's not like an athlete, like he just likes to hang out like with athletes. And Paul
This ate
missed
me up.
not even a second. He's like, since we're like extreme, I probably would like do that, but you'd probably enjoy it a little bit too much. So,
Yeah,
and Jerry just had nothing. He was just
I
like,
have
"Oh
no
yeah?"
problem. Yeah, I have no problem sniffing your jock. I'm just afraid you'd like it. And we're
Right.
like,
Uh, I love it. I love Paul.
Paul. Love
Paul
Paul. I
don't
wish he was at every
care.
freaking episode. Love that guy.
Ugh, I love Paul. So at one point, Devon is using Beulah as a like shield, like to just stop whatever's going on, so that Tommy Dreamer doesn't hit him with a chair. But that doesn't really do all too much because Tommy Dreamer still manages to hit a DDT on the steel chair, thus allowing him to win. But that doesn't stop the Sandman from coming out, as well as Devon Dudley. Chaos, just more ECW chaos.
Now, the Sandman was the
Correct.
one that cracked the beer on his face.
Yes.
That was okay. So I'm watching this, right? And like, I didn't know this was a thing, but the Sandman literally he comes down from the crowd too, which was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone
He
was,
does that every. Yeah.
oh, he does that every time. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
No.
he
Yeah.
was tweaking. Like, everyone was tweaking so hype. He comes down, he has the beer, smashes it against his head, and it's literally just bleeding.
Yeah.
And I am shocked by this because I've never seen it, don't know it's a thing. And Xavier's just like this. He's like, mm-hmm. And I'm like, hello? I was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But it is, now that you mention it, when you looked at his face, you could tell it was like
Oh,
scars.
it's been beat up. Yeah. 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 He
Beat
busts
up.
himself open like before every single match. That is his. That
Wild.
is just his entrance. Um.
Which is
And the Sandman's
just
wild.
insane. You can
Because the
tell.
Sandman just like looks like you're like just your Joe Schmo. He just looks like just a guy off the street. He
Swear.
dresses like a guy off the street. He looks like he like you could just pick him out of anywhere. Like
He was wearing like sweats and a
any
t-shirt.
bar, you could like any local watering hole, you could walk in, grab some guy by the scruff, bring him out there, and you'd be like, "That's a Sandman, right?" And
Mm-hmm.
like that's essentially it.
I
Uh,
love it.
which is like the mass appeal of him. You know, he's like very much a of the people kind of wrestler.
I love that though.
So, so yeah, so then the Sandman kind of helps clear the ring after all is said and done, and then Paul and Jerry are just actually going at it. Like they look like Jerry's just going off, just like talking his ish, and Paul's like, "Say one more thing, like say one more thing," and then of course Jerry does, because of course,
Duh.
and they're like all of a sudden, like Paul looks like he's like gonna go like leave, and then he like comes running back and like just starts like lunging at Jerry like over the table. Vince McMahon's like holding him back, and then all of the ECW wrestlers come out, and Jerry's like standing on top of the commentary table, just like yelling at all, like yelling down at everything. Like, it's a
A
mess.
It
The
was a
girls
literal
were
brawl. The
fighting.
girlies were brawling at the lunch table.
Ugh,
Crazy. Like Jerry's standing on the table. Vince gets like almost like absorbed into the mosh of ECW. Like,
right.
and I was like, oh, there goes Jerry. Bye, girl. Like literally getting or Vince like sucked into the wave. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was
Amazing.
crazy.
And
It
like
was
that,
crazy.
it's just like, and that's the like I like kudos to Jerry, kudos to Paul, because like
Yes.
they were so good at their roles that like I was like, ooh, I want to see that fight. I
Yes.
want to see that fight. And like
Yeah.
granted, like it's only been building for like a week.
A week.
Like
And this
literally he
suddenly is the
challenged
most
them
important
last
thing.
week. He challenged them last week. And granted, like we had a couple ECW people like appear kind of like
But not
here and
in
there, but not really.
hmm
So really, this has only been going for like a week, and we already are like, please fight. Like, I
yeah.
would love to see that.
Yeah, and it's like I did not realize this was gonna be like the exit. Like I thought it was just gonna be like a we'll break up the fight and then like Paul will come back or whatever. But this
Mhm.
was like
ECW's
and
out.
it yes, and I kind of liked it because it felt unexpected, but it made you want more so bad. And at
Hmm.
first I was like, oh, like I want like more right now. But then I was like, oh, but this is just the beginning of this.
Right.
So I know like
Down the
this
line,
is
there's
good because they're
right.
not like giving me too much at one time.
Hmm.
Like it was
Hmm.
just enough that I feel like
Right.
I'm satisfied,
No,
but I want more.
I love it. I love this little ECW invasion. It's so cute.
So good.
So after that, we got kind of a recap of the WWF title defense that took place last week between Bret the Hitman Hart and Psycho Sid. We kind of get caught up on Stone Cold just ruining that for Bret, as we know,
Mm,
continuously many times throughout the night, ultimately costing Bret the WWF Championship. But what was kind of new information or like new content for us this week was
hmm
the kind of like after we went off the air when the cameras were still following Bret Hart around, where he's just like he's losing it. He's like, where is that son of a bitch? He's like knocking over things like downstairs, screaming,
Cursing.
where is he? He's like knocking over chairs, like he gets into like his like dressing room area and he's like starts yelling at the camera. He's like, what are you doing in here? Like you need to go. Like you get out now. And
hmm
like it was just he's big piss.
Dude, devastating. I'm still not over that. Like
No.
truly devastating. I am surprised, but I guess it makes sense like that there was no Stone Cold in this episode. Like cuz it just seems like as an agent of chaos himself, like he would
Mm,
come and
thrive on
stir up
this.
trouble in the Yeah, but I guess like there
I
was
feel like
nobody there he was really like beefing with per
I
se.
feel like we kind of like this episode was just kind of going to be the ECW kind of situation episode, and I think next week we'll kind of get back into a more like regularly scheduled. Here's where our people are in their feuds, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Um, but it was announced that Bret Hart will be taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, which we knew. But
Crazy.
this match is A1.
I
This
cannot.
WrestleMania 13 match between the two of them is like the match that makes Stone Cold Steve Austin. It is A1. So
Whoa.
something to look forward to. Something to look forward. This feud is like one of my favorites. Between Bret Hart and Stone Cold because it's just such a like what should kind of seem like a passing of the torch, but is more like a ripping of the torch. And I live for it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
Um,
God.
so after that, we finally get our main event, which is Farooq taking on the Undertaker. We do get another little interview with Ken Shamrock, and this one was just a much quicker paced. It was nice.
Good, Todd. Todd did a great job.
Yeah, honestly, he got the whole crowd involved. It was nice. It was brief. He actually answered questions. Like,
Yeah, he was like, so because he was asking Ken like who his picks were for WrestleMania, like Undertaker versus Psycho Sid, Stone Cold versus Brett. And he answered Undertaker for Undertaker versus Psycho Sid, but he refused to answer for Stone Cold Bret Hart because he was like,
it could really go
I
either
could
way.
really go into it. And I love that actually this, and I'm gonna use this because Todd was like, just go out on a limb. He goes, I'm afraid it'll break. And I
Uh,
was like, "No."
love that.
But then because he didn't answer, Todd goes to the crowd, who's winning? Like, who's winning Bret Hart versus Stone Cold? Is it Stone Cold? And everyone's like, ah. And then he
Right.
asked about like Bret, and it was like,
I
like so
it's just
good.
a truly like your professional card was showing. It was great. Like you
Yeah,
turned it
loved.
around. Like when your guest doesn't like answer the question fully, you need to have a plan. Like you need to know like what you're gonna do next.
Yeah,
So
Todd, well done, sir.
good job.
Hype as F. Just amazing.
Farouk for all of his big talking looked pretty scared when the Undertaker was coming out. I'm just
Get in
saying.
the ring. I literally wrote, oh my God, get in the ring. Like any day now.
Right. Right. I was just like,
Which I love that they're all scared of him. I so get that. It makes me feel
but like you
good.
got 9 guys out here and you're still out here just like me. Like, come on.
And I don't understand the nation because they're all like patting me like, yeah, you got it, Farouk. Like I'm like, this is your man. This is
Right.
your leader. He won't even get in the ring. You guys all have to like be like, you can do it, like la la la. And that's the one you're gonna back up,
Mm-hmm.
life or
That's
death
your yeah.
for that guy.
Right.
Crazy. Makes no
Right.
sense.
And yeah, it's just I'm learning as we like go on. I'm just not that into Farouk's like
Okay.
wrestling style.
Thank you so much.
I
I was like, I want to say something controversial, and it's that they have no chemistry in this match. Like, none.
no, it's very awkward. It's very
Really
my
awkward.
my I gripe is like the Undertaker sold the hell out of like Farouk's moves.
Yes.
But Farouk gave nothing.
Nothing.
Gave
And,
nothing.
and
And like you're look who you're in the like you're with the Undertaker. It's like it's not like you're just like barreling over some like Joe Schmo.
it's
Like
not
it
Mikey whatever,
Whipwreck,
Whipwreck.
yeah.
Like,
It
come
no, like
on.
that's the Undertaker. Like it's just like there were moments where
Freaking
it's just like I feel like you're not making me believe that the Undertaker is as intimidating and ridiculous as he is.
as he is. And the fact that like you're playing in the beginning around the ring like you're so scared of him and then you're giving me nothing in the actual match. And again, I'm not trying to diss Farouk. Like it's not, but like this it's just so it was like so chunky. Like I don't it was just awkward. I
No,
don't
I agree.
know. And again,
I
it's the Undertaker. He's a legend. Like sell, like make it crazy.
make
Like
me like believe it. Like I don't
make
know.
me
And
believe
just
you're fighting for your life against a dark Undertaker figure. Like there
like
it's
make me
so
believe the fear
easy.
was worth it. Like otherwise why sell in the beginning that like you're scared, quote unquote. And then you like get in the ring and it's like you're not the least bit intimidated. So it's like why did you it just felt like it counteracted what like you were trying to do in the beginning. Um
Yeah.
and
And
so
I
like
feel
yeah, I don't know. It's just like
and I felt like they're and again, this is I literally I'm new here. But they I felt like their moves weren't like cohesive. Like there was a lot of like start stop like for the setups of moves. Like do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah.
it was like I can't even explain it. Like it was like the engine stalled every time they were trying to like set up
Into like a new
anything.
segment of the match. Yeah.
Yes, I was like like there was just a lack of chemistry, I felt.
Yeah, and like I don't know. It's just like I'm learning that like maybe I just don't like Farouk's like style
Mhm.
necessarily because it is just kind of like it's just kind of like big how do I describe it? It's like a series of just like high impact moves with not a whole lot of finesse in between any of them, which is
Mm,
fine. Like if that's his style, but it's just like for me, it's just like, okay, like
yeah,
you're big and strong, I get it, but is
right.
there anything else?
Yeah.
So once again, of course, the Nation is making their presence felt. D'Lo Brown wearing a full suit is for some reason getting very involved in this one. He like pulls the rope down. The Undertaker like goes outside. At one point, he's like grabbing the Undertaker and pulling him outside, and then like just kicking on him, and all the while in a 3-piece suit, which is okay. But he's the only one. Like I don't get it. I don't.
I will say that. And at one point, because like the Undertaker's fighting him, and Jerry was like, "Oh, Undertaker's in trouble now." I go, "From goon number 3, seriously, the Undertaker." But then I'm like, he is the only one that throws hands, though. Like he's the only one that actually fights for
Well, he's
Farooq, to
a
be honest.
like an actual wrestler.
No, I know, but like I've never like he's always in a suit and it's always weird, and I've never actually seen him wrestle. So I'm always like, I don't even
Yeah,
know who
he
this guy
hasn't
is.
debuted yet. So I wonder if he's like not done training or like he's going to debut. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
we haven't gotten there.
We're
Um,
yeah. But
but
I'm always like, but he is the only one who throws hands. Everyone else is like, I mean, like Crush will sometimes do like a put the pull the rope
right,
down and whatever. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. And then there's
we
the
did
Stooges. So
we did get one of my favorite chants of
oh,
the whole
hilarious.
night. Because I didn't get it at first because I legitimately thought that they were cheering on the Nation of Domination. And I was like, wow, like that they're gaining some traction, whatever. And Xavier starts laughing and he's like, that's amazing. And I was like, what? And he goes, they're saying Nation of Masturbation, which we
tickled
are
me.
the nation of masturbation. They're
They
literally
were
singing
singing the
it,
theme song. It was great. It was
which
so good.
I love the creativity, the ingenuity, the nuance, the just
Like just it was great. It was a great like wrestling chant. It like
well
really makes
done.
you felt like you were like England or something. You know, like England got like really good chants. I don't know if you know this,
Yes,
but like
for
they're known
football.
for their sporting like
Yes.
chants. It really felt just like kind of like like that energy. You know what I mean? Just something
Yeah,
like
fully.
stupid and just so loud. And I was like, that's beautiful. I love that.
Love. Thank you guys.
I
Thank you.
absolutely live for that.
This crowd
Uh,
loved.
so this match ends, of course, as all Nation of Domination matches do, when Savio Vega and all members of the Nation decide to make their presence known inside the ring, start attacking the Undertaker. But this time it was the Road Warriors who came out to save the day. Like, which I was here for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
love to
like
see them.
right. I fully thought it was gonna be Ahmed, but
Mm. But where did Ahmed's already in Germany, right? They were like
yeah,
saying because they're doing an episode in Berlin, and they were like
next week
Ahmed's
I think.
already like in Germany because he's too scared to like be here and face like face ECW or face Farouk and like whatever. But
Right.
yeah,
You're just like,
yeah, that would have
no.
been epic if that happened.
Right, but
But
I'll listen. I'll take it. I'll take the
yeah, and it
role.
was like
The
a change.
right, right. And but like that's it. The episode ends shortly after that.
Like quick. Wait,
Right.
can we really quickly because I during this match, someone held up a sign that said "Die Rocky,"
Oh yeah.
which is crazy. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
just black marker "Die Rocky." I don't get it. Like, I am still not understanding like the hate Rocky gets. Who is The Rock? Obviously, like
Right.
I don't
And to a
understand.
large degree, it's not. You'll probably won't ever because it's not really warranted. It's
Really?
it.
Like,
It's
okay,
really.
because I was like,
It's really like people just find him like annoying and boring
oh, wow. That is so crazy because we know him
now.
now. So
Right.
like that
It.
is
But it is
wild to
this.
me.
But like at the same time, we've also made mention of like this package
Right.
is not it. But that's what becomes like more and more like prevalent. And these like all of these like the die Rocky die, the like the Rocky sucks chance, like these are all of the things that are going to be like the catalyst for when the Rock becomes the Rock. Because he goes from being like this like happy go lucky guy to be like, "Oh, like die Rocky die, like you want me to that's how it's gonna be, like I'm gonna go bust my ass off and like that's how you treat me, sure, fine, great. And then he becomes like The Rock and like starts like
Mm,
actually cooking. So
okay.
like it's all as horrible as it is, and really not warranted, but it all serves a greater purpose.
Okay. Okay.
So
Because
like it all just fuels his like origin story, you know?
okay, because I was like, did I miss something? Like, did he do something bad I missed? But like, okay, that makes sense. And
No, no,
like,
no, no, not at
okay,
all.
okay, okay, word.
So yeah, so that the episode ends very chaotically, very shortly after that. I guess they were like pressed for time. So we are gonna continue our trek on to WrestleMania, which is always exciting.
Yeah.
We're coming up on almost a year of the show. Which is pretty exciting. It'll be at the kind of like end of March. I don't know what we'll do for it, but we'll figure something out. And I guess just for you guys, if you have not checked out our new series, the New to Wrestling podcast After Dark, where we kind of take on a more current slash gossip slash just backstage view of wrestling and the wrestlers going on. Last week we talked about
Yeah, we talked about the steroid trials this past Saturday. I think that episode was literally so crazy we blacked out. So
No, I get it. Yeah, that was wild. It was
it's fine.
truly like the Wild Wild West. So last week we talked about the steroid trials, and this week we are going to be taking on the tragedy that is Chris Benoit and everything that happened thereafter. So
Yeah.
if you want to check that out, we love and appreciate any way that you want to support us. We really do. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, we will catch you next week.
We will see you there. Bye.